Hello, and welcome to everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I am Lady Calamere and I welcome you to my channel. I am doing my 128th presentation and it will be on Odin. Okay, so Odin, who is he? In America and other parts of the world, we like to say Odin, but actually his name was pronounced Othin. The D has like a DH to it. So it'd be Othin. So if you were to take a time machine and go back to the Middle Ages, if you said the word Odin, they would think you would have a speech impediment. It's Odin. Or they will correct you. So even among the Norse, the R's were rolled. So anytime you hear like the name Thor, it would actually be Thor, Thor. So, and interesting to note that in modern Icelandic, anything with a double L is pronounced with a K. That's modern Icelandic though. So so they would actually see the word and pronounce it Oaxaca. The more you know. Okay, Odin, the great All-Father. Who is he? What was he? And why you want to worship him. So, let's get on to the pictures so that I give proper credit as always. This wonderful card of death comes from the Runic Tarot by Jack Sephiroth, Alan Dempster, and Jamie Elford. Beautiful artwork. Now, this other card, from an oracle card, Odin, which the card is Guidance, comes from Gods and Titans by Stacy DeMarco, illustrated by Jimmy Manton. Both can be found at your local occult store. If not, then check Amazon. Beautiful cards, worth it. So, we have the Volknut. The Volknut has been confused with people saying that anyone who wears this is part of the neo-Nazi movement, is full of hate, and only cares about white people. Bullshit. The Volknut was never about Nazism. Okay? The Volknut is ancient. It is Odin's symbol. And one day I should do a presentation on the Volknut. But wearing the Volknut is pretty serious, especially if you know what it is. This symbol will protect you. Odin will protect you, but it's a sacrifice to him, meaning that when he wants you, he'll call you. And what I mean by call you, Final Destination. Anyone horror fans? No, but it's basically place spear here. So right through your chest. So the Volknut had a protective aspect, but also you're basically climbed onto the altar of sacrifice. And I'm not saying you're going to go and kill yourself. Oh my God. The cat is howling. But I'm just saying that it's a dedication to Odin. So without further ado, let's talk about the great god Odin. Do not confuse him with Marvel. All right. Odin, his wife is Frigga, but he had many consorts, lovers, which he had children with. He has many children. Odin is also a god that deals with the dead. Some people forget that. Valhall, which we call Valhalla, which I would say in Icelandic, if they look at the word, they would say Valhaka. That is Odin's hall, and it is for the valiant dead, the glorious dead. So, in order to get there, most of the time you'd have to die in battle. I heard that maybe women giving childbirth or those who die by sea may go there, but it's through battle. Freya gets half the dead in battle, and they go to her hall, Folksevang, which means the field of the folk. So, and Odin gets the other half. Odin owns half the Valkyries. Freya owns the other half. Odin gets the glorious dead, in which by day they have war games, at night they feast, and he prepares them for Ragnarok. So, or Ragnarok. Odin was originally a god of the noble. Warriors also loved him. There's some things that were said bad about him, like Carl Jung blamed Odin for the rise of the Nazi Party. Can you believe that? So, and I'm going to just throw this out there. There are purists who say only those of Germanic, Icelandic, Austrian descent, Norse from that area, Scandinavian, Icelandic, can only worship the Norse gods and be part of the Asatru. Let me tell you something. I don't care what color you are, what race you are, where you were born. Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the United States, Ireland, Germany, Russia, South America, Canada. It doesn't matter what your color is, what your nationality is. If you feel called to the Norse gods, then answer the call. Don't let anyone tell you who you can and cannot worship. All right? Just throwing that out there. So Odin has many names. Let's cut to the chase and get right to different things about the wonderful god Odin, who is like a father. Sometimes he just seems distant at times, but he has been like the god to challenge me to do things, to make me stronger. So sometimes that's why sometimes he gets that nickname title, you bastard. But Odin, unlike Thor, Odin is going to be for those, well, not just nobles today. He calls to those who he calls to. But he loves a strength. Like you can fight back physically, spiritually, even physically. So sometimes people will go into like a fighting ring or maybe into a fighting match and dedicate it to Odin. Maybe they'll get into a book of bar fight and say for Odin. Right before surgery and they're scared, they say for Odin. Or even playing video games in a fight and say, I'm going to win for Odin. This is dedicated to Odin. Odin is the patron of warriors and soldiers. Our military. Those who are like police. Those who have to fight. Protect, defend, offense or defense. So his main element is air. His main element is air. He also deals with the element of storm. He does deal with storms. One of his some of his names is actually dealing with it. But generally, again, more of Thor is seen as the thunderer. Thorbarti is the Jotun of thunder. But, so, his main element is air. His other element, secondary element, is said to be water. His colors that deal with him is dark blue, black, woad, and indigo. His numbers are 3 and 9. Now his symbols, personal sigils, I should say, is the Volknut, right there, and also the Tridiskil. Odin deals with breath. It is said that he came upon the trees and gave them breath, and was Ask and Embla were born. It was Odin that gave us the breath. The breath is the gift of the All-Father. So Odin is generally called for, summoned forth from the north, the northern direction. But Odin can be called from any quarter, whether east, south, west. But it's generally in the north. Though, depending on what you want to do, he can be called from, like I said, from east for healing, health, and knowledge and wisdom. So, like the north, okay, so the north is definitely for occult power, sorcery, cursing, bane work, revenge. South is for victory in fights, wars, and battles. His mount is Sleipnir, which means slipper, to slip. He's known as the best of all horses. He's an 8-legged horse, gray horse, the son of Loki. When Loki turned himself into a mare, and when he gave birth, Odin took over and became his mount. So Sleipnir is a gray 8-legged horse, the best among all horses, the fastest, the most powerful. So he's also, Odin is known as Hrafn Nagud, which means raven god. And his ravens were originally white, but because they gossiped and stuff, he punished them and turned them black. And their names is Munin and Hugin. He has two wolves, Freki and Geri. Which denotes him and shows him as the god of death. We like to see now, modern times, wolves in the positive light and ravens in the positive light. But to the Norse, they were animals of death. Interesting thing. When an animal is dead, or a human, the ravens would go by, caw, 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 get the attention of the wolves, and they would rip open the dead body. And now the ravens have soft meat to get, because the wolves did all the heavy work. They ripped open and teared open the flesh, and here comes the raven swooping in for like the tender morsels. So yes, Odin is a god of death. Some people forget that, but he is a god of death. He's also a god of victory. He has a name, Sigfather. Sig means victory. Father means father. He is the victory father. His animals are the wolf, the raven. Others, that's what people can think is a wolf and raven. But his other animals are the snake. People forget that. People forget the eagle, as well as one more, horse. So his animals are the raven, the eagle, the wolf, the horse, and the snake. His magical items is the spear, his arm ring, and his wand. He sits on the throne, and the only other being that can sit on his throne is Frigga, where he can see things that the other gods can not view from. Heimdall is the exception. He doesn't sit on the throne, but he can see. He's like a satellite. He can hear and see things. So if you want to get into, his name would be Heimdallr, or as the Icelandic would pronounce it, Heimdallr. Heimdallr. I know it's very hard to learn that. Sorry, people from Iceland. Your language is hard. I know English is hard too. People said they try to learn it and they would learn it and then they say it's hard. So, and one of Odin's most oldest manifestation in more the continental German beliefs, that as a raging storm being named Woden, which he brought forth and endowed the function of assembling of people's spirits of the dead. But this is more of a feared aspect, and it wasn't widely worshipped in this aspect. Also, the wild hunt. He is the god of the wild hunt. He is the wild hunter. This god is the Einstein. Now, I don't mean this as jest. I'm not being facetious. He is the Einstein, the Stephen Hawking of the gods. He gives good counsel. And as the stories progress, he becomes wiser and wiser, especially when he drinks, when he wins a drink from the well of Mimir after sacrificing one of his eye. And it's debated which eye. Modern cultists will swear it's the left eye. And that he kept his right eye, but some say he actually gave up his right eye and kept his left eye. But they say that his eye that's in shines like the sun, and his eye that's out is dark. Or represents one eye would represent the sun, the other one would represent the moon. Again, modern occultists and modern people will say it was his left eye that's gone. But nowhere in the stories can I find which eye he cut out. I just know he cut out an eye. You just know that. So he is the one-eyed God. Now, did you know that he is the wanderer, he is the traveler, and he travels for many different things? One of the reasons is to prolong the time before Ragnarok, or to find a way to stop it. And one of his travels, he left his wife for too long. So his brother, with his brother's Villian Vey, okay, his wife Frigga has the power of the land, the queen, where she gives permission for a god to rule. She marries both his brothers, but they abdicate the throne when he comes back and he takes over. Now, a lot of the stories about the goddesses are missing. They weren't as written down by Saxo Grammaticus and by Snorri Sturluson. And there was reasons for that, because they were trying to preserve the stories without getting burned at the stake. So, but in the stories, the gods say the goddesses are no less wise, are no less powerful, or no less sacred as the gods are. So, what else can we learn about Odin? Oh, there's so many stories. I don't think I'm going to have time to tell them all. But I will get on to talking about some of his herbs and oils and his stones that are definitely associated with the god Odin. So, my other things, like, I'm just trying to think, getting my thoughts together, because why does Shadow have to be annoying? I don't know if you hear that. That is annoying. Yeah, he just ate, so he's just being a brat. Or maybe the little ones might be bothering him. He'll get over it. So anyways, his herbs that's used for him, it's called parsley. And you can give that to him. I kid you not, parsley. There is also, oh God, all ferns, the yew tree, anything to do with the yew, elm leaves, ash leaves, ash, cinquefoil, woad, periwinkle, some associate mandrake with Odin. Horsehound, cinquefoil, in case I didn't say that. Some have now associated dragon's blood resin with Odin. So, and that would also deal with the oil, dragon's blood oil, which people use for Odin. Other herbs, and please bear with me, I don't write these things down. Yeah. Oh my God, would he stop? Okay, he stopped. I don't know if you heard him. Other plants are, there is a plant called Wotan's herb, which is a heliotropium, a European heliotropium. There is monkshood, which is also known as Odin's hat. Monkshood, Monkshood, which is also known as Odin's hat. There is also juniper, which German folk name is Wotan's rod. Juniper, the Germanic folk name for this herb, for this is Wotan's rod. So, like I said, Wotan's herb is, don't not confuse Wotan's rod with Wotan's herb. Wotan's herb is heliotropium, European, and the juniper is Wotan's rod. So his oils, dragon's blood oil, look at that one. That could be used for Odin. Pine oils as well as sandalwood oils. His stones and out that people use for him, onyx, agates, jet, tin, gold. Trying to think what else. His also, people now give him tobacco. That's more of a modern. His day, Wednesday, Woden's day, Wednesday. Some offerings that you can give to this god. Good quality booze. Good, like whiskey, hard liquors, aquavit, dry red wine, mead. There's two types of mead. There's MEADE, which is a honey wine, and there's MEAD, which is fermented honey. So those are two different. You can give them MEADE or MEAD. So good quality alcohol. Red meat, especially beef. Beer, forgot that, beer. He likes beer. People give him smoked salmon. Tobacco. His sacred herbs and his stones and his oils. Spear-like vegetables like asparagus, leeks. So those are like spear-like. Also garlic, kid you not. He likes garlic. And people give him candies and chocolate. So, oh God, there's so many things that I'm going to be talking about. He is an Aesir, son of Bor and Besla. Bor and Besla. He is one of the, in ancient Nordic, it was Os. A-S, Os. So he's one of the Aesir. Now his runes, I should have gotten my rune bag out, sorry. I am ill prepared, I guess. But his main he has many runes. I mean, runes definitely are all, I mean, you could say all the runes are associated with Odin, as he won the runes from sacrificing himself from the world tree. 9 days and 9 nights no one offered him anything to drink or food, and which he also had himself pierced with a spear. And the runes appeared to him, and he grabbed them up screaming. But his main runes definitely are Gable, Wunyo, Ansuz, Othila, I was, and Dagaz. He got Odin, it's not like he knows every single thing, but he is a great divinator. He is a sorcerer. He was taught Seether, or Seed, depending on where you pronounce it, by the goddess Freya. And Seed, I mean, men practiced it too, but it was more woman's craft, sorcery. And as the lands became Christian, especially in Germany, men were prohibited, in fact, burned for it when it first started becoming Christian. Later on, women were burned. Shamanism, Galder, chanting. So he's a god of magic, the occult arts, the light arts and the dark arts. He does good magic and bad magic. None of this rule of 3. Okay, so he's also a Vitki, a rune magician. Those who work magic and work with the runes, whether the Galder is like the chanting, and you got the songs and stuff. I'm not going to get into it right now, but Vitki is dealing with rune magic, and which he is a very powerful Vitki. He knows how to use the runes for anything he wants. Or should I say runes, as they would be pronounced. Remember, all those R's are rolled. So he works with magic. He can teach you magic. He is great of magic. Other things that he deals with is divination, fortune telling. He's a god of prophecies. He's a prophet. He's god of priests. He is a master of magic. I can't stress this enough. All right? So Galder is also enchantment and incantations. So he can do all types of spells and magic, even like I said, baneful magic or good magic. He deals with healing, and if he wants to, he can heal you from pain, different, if possible, disabilities. So, and what the Voluspa calls sporting with souls is essentially magic. So he knows how to talk with the dead. He knows how to talk with the dead. Like spa. It's called spa, S-P-A with a hyphen over the A, is the work of those who are fortune tellers, seer or seeresses, psychics. So he deals with psychic power, ESP, mediumships, channeling. So it's called spa, which is it's this type of power, this psychic power, to see into the past, present, and future, to be able to know, sense, and understand. So you have different types of things that he can do. Astral project. He can help you with that too. He is the god, okay, so of the hanged people. So people would sacrifice people to Odin. And some people would offer themselves as a sacrifice. And some of this, okay, so when so the victors of battle would take, to the victor of battles comes the spoils. And some of them, the people that they defeated, they would sacrifice them to Odin. And even before the battle, they would throw a spear across enemy lines and saying, you're all sacrifices, you're all going to be sacrificed to Odin. Watch. We're going to defeat you, and we're going to sacrifice you. And what they would do is hang them. But not only hang them, but stab them. To represent hanging, the way the god hung from the tree, but also pierced with the spear, they would stab him. And what that would do is stabbing is the wolves will come and also attract the ravens. And I gotta see what Mr. Shadow's problem is today. I will be right back. Sorry. sorry about that. He was just being a pest. Whew. So Odin is the seen as the king, the All-Father, the king of the gods and of men. He's the Sky Father. And some believe that Tyr was originally the Sky Father, and he was the Almighty, you know, All Father, in which then later on Tyr steps down and lets Odin up on the throne. So it was said that Tyr was before him. Interesting to note. Just for FYI. So Odin is a god of ecstasy. Not a lot is talked about ecstasy, but he is a god of ecstasy. And he is also a very sexual god. He's more kinder to women than he is men. He loves women, no matter their shape, size, color, short hair, long hair, no hair, don't matter. Old, young. We're not talking about children now. Okay? None of that. He is a seducer. He is a god of ecstasy. And he can make women feel like they belong, like they're loved. He has a way of being kinder to women. I'm telling you that. Like, he'll hug a woman and slap a man across the head. You know. So he does have a way of just, oh my God, Odin. Woo. He has a way of just that ecstasy feeling. He can really touch your senses. He can make you feel things. Odin is a god of passion, and he wants people to have passion. He wants people to live their life, to embrace their life. He wants us to continue on and continue learning, to never stop learning. Learn about different subjects. Just learn, 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 and learn, for he is a God of wisdom and knowledge. He's a God that could just take your, oh my God, he could just take your breath away in passion and ecstasy and make you feel high and flighty. Another thing is, a lot of people don't realize is that Odin does trickery. Not to the extent of Loki. Sometimes Loki's tricks brings good things to the gods, but Odin can sometimes be selfish. But Odin will trick to what he gets, what he wants. He is a shapeshifter. He is a shapeshifter. So, and one thing that you need to know is sometimes he is called a bastard for a reason. And he is Bale worker. Yes. And he brings the stirrer of strife. And in one of his names is Bulwark. I'm sorry, Bulwark. Bolwerk. Bulwark. Work. Sorry, or Bulwark. He. So he had a. So his So the prophecy was, okay. There's two stories about how Boulder died. One was because of Loki. One had nothing to do with Loki. It had to do with fighting over the same goddess that Balder marries, but Hod kills him. So, or it was done by, orchestrated by Loki, whatever, with the mistletoe. Either way, it was by mistletoe. So, in order to avenge Balder, to get a vengeance on Hod, the dark brother, where Balder is the light, Hod is the dark, Balder the bright and beautiful, Hodor the blind and shadowy. So he was told he has to have a son by the goddess Rein. Some say it's a princess, but it's a goddess or a divine being, depending. And he is a seducer. And a lot of people don't like talking about this because it puts Odin in a bad light, but it's in the stories. So Hind is either a goddess or a human princess, depending on whether you're reading Saxo Grammaticus or Snorri Sturluson. But here's a really bad example of how he got his son Vali. Is that he went up to Hind about four different times, and she dismissed him. She didn't want anything to do with him. So what he did was he got a piece of bark and he inscribes runes, and then he goes and touches her. She goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, she's just totally mad. She goes crazy. So now he takes the shape of a woman healer. He changes himself into a woman and named Weksha. Weksha. Wekhsa. Weksha. I'm sorry, Wechsa. And this would be classed as Seath magic. But in this form, as Weksha, she tells the king, her father, that his daughter can only be saved and cured by a special remedy, medicine that is very powerful but painful, and that she needs to be tied down for this. And she needs to be alone with Hind. And in which he's changed himself back to Odin, and when Hind is immobilized, tied down, he has sex with her, he rapes her. Which she becomes pregnant, and with Vali, and within, okay, so by 1 day old, when he's 1 day old, he fulfills the prophecy made by Volva originally to Odin, in which he slays Hod. He slays the blind dark god Hod. Sorry, but that is in the stories, and I know people are gonna get angry at me, but I didn't make this shit up. So he is the god of the gallows, the hanged people, the sacrificed. He is the god of cursing, revenge, vengeance, whether it's vengeance or justice. He can curse, offense and defense. So he is like, even his name Yig which means terrible, terrifying. He has that name. So he actually, one of his names is also Slayer. Slayer. Any Slayer fans? I love that band. Too bad they broke up. But he has like his different epithets, his different titles. Slayer. Any Batman fans? He has the name of Riddler, the Riddler. Seriously, I'm not making this shit up. I'm honestly not making this shit up. So, I mean, he has, I'll go through some of his names, not everything. So, like, Hrafnagud, or Hrafnagud, which means Raven God. He is known as Allfather, the Allfather. He is the Grimnir. You heard that on American Gods? Grimnir means to be the masked one, the concealed one. So, just to let you know, Grimnir. And he has more names than any of the other gods in Norse stories, mythology, religion has. He has more titles. Brun, Brunn, or Bruni, which means brown. He is called Brown. Blindir, blind. Or Blindir if you can't roll your R's. Blindr, blind. I'm not joking. Bill Flindy, the spear shaker. He has one of his other names is Mighty God, Vimboltir. He is known as some of his God of trade, meaning God of trade, like not just trading something, but God of the marketplace, God of trade, or God of your trade of your job, or what you can do. Mighty God, Fimbultir, like I said before, the Almighty God, hail to you. There is also, and one of his name is Fjolnir, which means many forms. That he has many forms. He takes on many forms and many guises, many forms. So he actually has one of the names, one who rides the north. One who rides forth, sorry. One who rides forth, not north. One who rides forth. His other name is Joy of Frigg, his wife, Frigg. He also has a name Wanderer or Traveler, or Travel Weary, which is Ganglari and Ganglari. So he has those names. He has Gizor, which I was telling you about, which means Riddler. Gizor. Two R's. Gizor, Riddler. Ginnar, deceiver, which he has been known to do. And he usually has his reasons are for the good. Okay, so he's got the name, what other names? Warblinder, Skillful Worker, Lord of the Hanged, God of the Hanged, God of Prisoners, which is Haptagut, God of Prisoners, Graybeard, the High One. And we're not talking about stoned, or like, smoking drugs or whatever. It's Hovi, or some people, depending where you are, Halvi, and it's the High One. Helblindi, Death Blinder. He is the Battle Lord, Battle Glad, God of Warriors, Inciter, Ripper, Rami, Ripper, The Roarer, 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 Lord of Rest, Screamer, Shouter, Horsehair Beard, Brisk Courage, Active Mind, Stormer. So he's also known as Yolnir, Yule God. In Scandinavia, interesting enough, the 12 days of Christmas is Odin's day too, is dedicated to Odin, as he is the Yule God, the god of Yuletide. Enjoyer, Inciter. He's even known as Olgr, Olgr, Hawk, which means hawk. Wish giver, Oski. Oski is perhaps his most peaceful, benign form, and that means the gift giver. He almost looks like a Santa Claus figure. Oski is one of the most approachable aspects of Odin. Just in case you want, which aspect is the most approachable, it would be Oski, O-S-K-I. So he has many names. And like I said, Slayer, which is Vidur, V-I-D with the line going through it. So it would be would be pronounced V-I-D-H-U-R-R, which Slayer. So he's also called Dangler. Terrifying one, which I said before, Yiger. So he has so many of them. He has so many lovers. There was his wife is Frigga. His gals are Gunlod. Gunlod was kind of tragic what happened. He actually regrets what he did to her. He broke her heart. She was a guardian of the mead of poetry, the poetry mead, and Odin was denied the mead by her father. So he snuck into her cave, to Gunlod, and he stayed with her for 3 nights. He slept with her. You know, he told her sweet nothings in his ears, promised her the world, I guess, to earn the 3 sips of mead. When he was given access to the mead, he actually drained the 3 containers. He didn't just take 3 sips. He drained the 3 containers. And he changed himself into his eagle form and flew away. And Gunlod's, of course, heart was broken. She grieved. Her name actually means invitation to war, Gunlod. Invocation to fight, invocation to battle. Reigned, which was a tragic thing too. Skadi was also said to shack up with Odin. So he has many children like Thor, Baldur, Hermod, Boulder, Vali, Vidor, Bragi. Loki is his blood brother. They were not related, but they took the Odin. Okay, Odin took the serious oath of becoming blood brother with Loki. So those have an interesting relationship, and that to become a blood brother is very, 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 very extremely serious thing to do, and which Odin does. So it's an interesting relationship with them. I am going to recommend some books. I've been talking for almost an hour. I'll go on a little bit more. We can go on a little bit more, right? Because there's just so many guises and aspects and things that Odin rules. He deals with poetry. Writing that essay. be authoring that book. He deals with, and the he also deals with poetry and stuff like that, and deals with runes. But it does deal with the written word, the spoken word, the singing of words. So writing that cool lyrics. He deals with that. So he deals with passing that test to retain the knowledge. He is the god of war, the battle god, the god of soldiers, the god of fights. So he later on becomes a god of war. He knows how to fight. He knows how to hold his own. And he teaches one to hold his own. And again, he gets half the valiant dead. Freya gets the other half. Ah, there goes Shadow again. His sphere has a certain name, and his sphere is Gungnir. Gungnir. G-U-N-G-N-I-R. Gungnir, if you can't roll it. So it is a magical sphere. So now Odin was given like an armband, and it was given to him as a gift, thanks to Loki, that this band would replicate itself, so that he would never be poor. So he's a god of wealth too, which he can help you with that. He can help you attain positions to get higher positions. He can help you get hired by, get your dream job. Now, Baldur's funeral at the pyre, and of course, which his wife died of a heartbreak after Baldur was killed. Baldur, because of Baldhur. At the funeral pyre, he whispers something to Baldur, in which no one knows but him and Baldur, and in which he gave his golden ring, his bracelet, the armlet, that would replicate itself, to Baldur. So no one knows what was said. So if anyone asks you the quiz question, what did Odin say to the body of his son at the funeral? No, the answer is no one knows but Odin and Baldur. But actually, it's more Odin, because no one could. Well, it's Odin that knows. So Odin is a god of trick questions, questioning. He knows the answers to riddles and rhymes. So yeah, he's a god of knowledge and wisdom, civilization. If Odin pretty much is seen with like gray hair, but sometimes they say it's like was red but turned gray. He looks like he would be a pirate with the eye patch, a biker, a cross between a pirate, biker, and metalhead. Okay, a pirate, biker, metalhead. Definitely his types of music. His guitar is going off, the sounds of thunder and stuff, the roll of those drums sounding like boom, boom, boom. Definitely his. Okay, so I'm a metalhead. There's so much to learn about Odin. Let me show you the statue. Beautiful. He's also known to wear a dark blue cloak with a wide brim hat. Sometimes he shows in that appearance. He can appear in battles where he can be riding a horse. He has been known to manifest himself sometimes to people. People swear they met him. Sort of like the American Gods, Mr. Wednesday. Yeah, sometimes he could be selfish, Odin. But Odin's also he's not always selfish. I mean, some people have put him in that light, but he gives good things, and he really is a good one to talk to. There's so much that you can learn about Odin, and I have his wife Frigga there, the queen. There's so much to learn about Odin. So much. I want to show you some books on. This is a good book to get. Odin, Ecstasy, Runes, and Norse Magic by Diana Paxson. I really recommend it. And this is another book, The Whisperings of Woden by Galina Kraskova. And there's another book. I have to go get my tablet. I'll be right back. I have to get my tablet. Sorry. To show you this book, because I only have it as Kindle. And let me pull it out. Of course I would do that. Go to Fog. Here's the cover. Pagan Portals, Odin by Morgan Daimler. Okay, Meeting the Norse Allfather. Very, very, very good book. So those are the the books that I know that I've read about this great god. There is so much to learn. In Ragnarok, it is said that he will kill Fenris or Fenrir, and Fenrir will kill him, which, as I agree with, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Freya Aswin. That wouldn't it make more sense that at Ragnarok that Fenrir would attack Tyr for his betrayal and not Odin? That Fenrir will go right after Tyr because Fenrir trusted Tyr and Tyr binded him and tricked him and betrayed him. And pretty much like it gave him a humiliation. And that's a different story for a different day. But wouldn't it make more sense that at Ragnarok, the great wolf would go after Tyr and not Odin? So, Odin is also known as the Old Man. That's as he's affectionately known, hey, Old Man. Odin was adopted by kings and chieftains as their patron. The god of nobility, not just the god of everyone. Of course, anyone can worship him, but... So there's so many stories about how he was tied to in an X position, and two fires were roasting on either side for 9 days and 9 nights, in which the son of the king that was doing this had mercy on him, cut him down, and gave him a sip of mead, in which Odin made a prophecy that the guy's father would basically trip on a sword and die, and that he would be the new king, and which happened. That's he. Odin is like the old wizard, like Gandalf the Grey. Too. Now, being that Besla is Odin's mother, Bolthorn is Odin's maternal grandfather. So Odin has many. There's so many things that Odin can do. There's there's a healing charm, particularly this charm depicts Odin as a healer of animals. We have that. So, okay, that's a lot of people don't talk about that, but that is true. So anyways, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And if you like my content, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, then give me a thumbs down. Share this video with your friends and family, so that they can see this. Also, I want to make an announcement. There is a good movie out there. If you're a horror movie fan like I am, I'm freaking crazy about it. And it's called Roseblood. Roseblood. And it's about Jason Voorhees. Shadow, come on! Shadow, stop it! Shadow! Hey! Stop it. I'll get you some food. He's being a brat. So, Roseblood. And it is a Peter Anthony production. So look up his channel, Peter Anthony Productions. It's Jason Voorhees. And it has a cameo by another slasher. I won't give it out. He's famous. Gotta watch the movie. Okay, I'll give it out. Michael Myers. Watch the movies. It has a little cameo appearance by him. But it's a continuation of... What was it? Continuation of part 7. So, it's his own fan film. So, check it out. Also, please donate if you have money. I don't have a Patreon account. But if I did, please give to the Wounded Warrior Project to help, if you're from America, from our fallen soldiers. Also, be good to yourself. Be kind to animals, even though they're annoying sometimes, like Shadow has been during this presentation. He just made his appearance. He's the old man. Shadow, what? Again? Come on. Come on, Shadow. He wants more food. And there's plenty of food out, but he just wants wet food. He's spoiled. So, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And this today's craziness was brought to you by Shadow. Thank you so much. And as always, blessed be.